Squawk Alley for a Tuesday. Joining us this morning, Shelly Palmer with Landmark Ventures. Shelly, good to have you back at Post 9.
Great to be here.
John Ford, Kayla Tausche on a pretty interesting day, as Simon and Sarah were just saying. But first up, we'll talk about some Apple. Getting a better look at the future of Apple Music. The Wall Street Journal says that Apple will take their apps off its revamped Beats service at its Worldwide Developers Conference next week, expected to cost $10 a month. And unlike Spotify, will not have a large, free, ad-supported service. Meantime, Recode says that Apple will not announce its TV plans next week because it is yet to finalize some of those licensing deals. We may not see Apple TV until later this year or even 2016. John, I wonder, what were the expectations on TV, first of all?
On TV, I think we were expecting to see kind of a skinny bundle, and then the question was which big broadcasters, which networks are going to jump into it. But really, this music thing, I mean, I'm scratching my head. I mean, what problem is Apple going to solve here? $10 a month music services, kind of a dime a dozen. A little disappointed if they don't innovate on top of that. This is their chance to show that that Beats acquisition, $3 billion, was worth it. I mean, Jay-Z got Tidal for $56 million and is up and running, charging $10 and $20 a month. Let's see what Apple can do. But really, I mean, I've got streaming from SiriusXM for $15+ bucks a month, get the radio and get some really good curation. So just curation here, I hope they got more than that. I hope they got more than that in Drake, because I don't really care what music Drake is listening to. Not my cup of tea. I mean, they got to give me more, so we'll see.
But we always talk about how Apple is not usually the first mover, but it tends to then introduce a product that is better than what is already on the market. Shelly, is this a product that could win over some of that 86% streaming market that Spotify has?
Every once in a while, you look at the most valuable company on planet Earth and you go, huh? Today is one of those days.
Oh, no.
Now, Tim Cook will tell you they want to go end to end. They really want to own the customer experience from start to finish everywhere they go in every aspect of your life. So if that's a strategy you believe in, then this is one small step, and I do mean small step in that direction. The actual differentiation between Apple's music product and every other music product, pretty hard to find.
But this does allow you to stay, I mean, if you are an Apple right, fanboy, you want to stay in the ecosystem, right? It does bring everything home a little bit more.
No, well, that's my whole point. If you believe the strategy that says Apple's going to take you end to end from the time you wake up to the time you go nighty-nighty, unless, of course, you need to count your sleep on your Apple Watch, in which case, while it's charging, you're in trouble because it's sleeping while you're sleeping. But other than that, end to end, they want to own you.
But at the same time, what benefit do I get from that? I mean, already you've got a Spotify app on your iPhone. Lots of people are using that. You got Pandora. Some people use that. None of these models seem to be working particularly well. But I mean, are their music choices just going to be that much better that everybody without the freemium model is going to rush over to Apple? I don't know. Hopefully they got more.
Maybe not, but they do already have your credit card. And that's something that Spotify doesn't have to convert those freemium users over to premium users. I mean, that's certainly a leg up that Apple could have.
There's no question. The other thing that's really important is that they are going to amass a bunch of data about you. And we are living in a world of accelerating information that will always accelerate. And Apple, once that, data is everything now. So they're going to have a better profile about the things you like and the things they can do. Realistically, Apple had no choice. I think they need to be seriously in the music business. Is this going to be a differentiated or undifferentiated product? I don't know. But I'll tell you what it is going to do. It's going to allow them to take people who do not understand how to use Spotify and Pandora and make it instantly available as an Apple ecosystem feature. And you know what? There are a lot of people out there not sitting at this table who think Spotify is hard to use. I don't know how that's possible personally. It's not in my worldview.
I can see that. No, look at Final Cut and what iMovie did and came along. They make it easily digestible, right? Just add water functionality. That's what they could do for music.
And that's very important to a large group. So they could actually surprise you in market share just by picking up people who literally no one else has.
Any risk they don't get the licenses for music across the finish line? Because the Journal points out Universal, Sony, and Warner, they're still in the final stages. They haven't actually inked those yet.
I'll say this as nicely as I can. If the recorded music companies do not sell to Apple, who else will they sell to? This is Rabbit and the Fox. You know who the rabbit is, you know who the fox is. They will sell, or they will license at a certain point. They just don't have a choice.
Some viewers scolding us for not mentioning CarPlay by this point. Maybe that's going to add a wrinkle down the road, but
Correct.
That'll be a longer-term story.
By the way, smart viewers.
Yes, very smart, believe me. Next up, are ads really coming to Netflix? Users started to get worried after the company started testing some pre- and post-roll teaser ads for its own original shows. Reed Hastings took to Facebook last night to tackle that confusion. He wrote, quote, "No advertising coming onto Netflix, period. Just adding relevant, cool trailers for other Netflix content you were likely to love," which some people then said, Shelly, okay, so that's advertising.
Okay, first of all, this is going to be the greatest proof of the pudding moment in the history of the advertising business. Netflix has the best preference engine of any preference engine, according to Netflix. They know what you like and they can serve it up to you. So theoretically, this trailer should blow your mind and you should love it, which will pave the way for them to put an ad in front of you that you're going to love. We're going to find out.
This is just borrowing a page from the HBO playbook, though, right?
I mean, everybody runs Coming Up Next, or you might also want to see Tune In for. It's in Netflix's interest, absolutely, not to do advertising. I mean, right now, we're seeing the advertising market getting slammed by programmatic. Everybody's scrambling to see, can we do some kind of a premium strategy? Can we get subscriptions? Well, that's what Netflix has. They've got subscriptions. They've got data on what people want there. They're in the catbird seat here. No reason for them to annoy those subscribers now with advertising. For what?
But here's what's going to happen, because it always happens this way. First, there are no ads. Then there are trailers. Then there's one ad just in the front a little bit. And what they'll do is they will sneak in as many ads as they can until you churn. And then they're going to back off, because if you can tolerate it, then there's revenue to be had.
Gateway drug of sorts.
Well, I don't think they do it. I mean,
I hope they don't.
HBO isn't doing ads. Why? You know, Showtime doesn't do ads.
YouTube is, right? You used to, I mean, you can skip sometimes you can't.
But YouTube was never a premium channel. It was always someplace where you went for free. It was more like network television. It wasn't that premium cable channel type model that Netflix has really.
So can I say something, though? This is more important to the brands than it is to Netflix, because as TV viewership changes and as targeting gets really hard to do, knowing who's on Netflix, what they like, and how, like, that is just gold for an advertiser. So there could be a lot of pressure, literally not from the media companies, not from the licensed content, not even Netflix, just we need to get to that audience. Now, I don't actually think Netflix benefits from doing any advertising at all. What I'm saying is that this little trailer experiment is going to tell us an awful lot about preferences and likes, and whatever relevant content means. We're always hearing, well, if the content's relevant, you're going to watch it. Will we? They're saying they're going to put the most important trailer that we're going to love in front of us, and if we don't go, crazy, then what?
Yeah. But you would be watching churn in the next few quarters?
You want to narrow in on that. They're going to have a much better idea. One of the nice things about a digital business is that it's dispassionate and instant. They will know immediately where the ad plays and who decides this isn't working. So they're going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
But then the question becomes, if they're not going to do advertising, at what point does the subscription rate go up again? Because content costs are doubling. They're double the rate of their revenue growth.
You just told the entire story in one sentence. There's no other part of the story. At what point?
Another viewer, Netflix costs $7.99. People on CNBC need to quit complaining, although he doesn't use those words. It's true, right? They have been disciplined on price.
They have been, and what's important to understand is that the better you get in the entertainment business, the price only goes one way. Nothing gets cheaper as it gets better in entertainment. You can't find a well-rated show that's cheaper than last year, a more famous actor that's cheaper than last year. The better you get, the more you cost. The better ESPN gets, the more it costs. The better it gets, the more. Just keep saying that to yourself, because it's the only place in the world where that's true.
Yes, and they've managed to, keep growing. So good for them.
Shelly, good to see you as always.
Great to be here.
Fantastic. Shelly Palmer, thanks for joining us today.